Hello everyone, my name is Denise and today I have a special guest with us on today's book, and that would be Gwendolyn Thong, my twin sister. So no, you're not seeing doubles. We really have two people on the screen right now. So okay, Gwen, what book are you? First have a quick introduction of yourself. Tell all the viewers today who you are.
Hi, Gwen. As Denise has described, my full name is Gwendolyn Thong, and I am the CEO of a mental wellness company, Chatty Caterpillar.
So Gwen, what book will you share with us today?
Okay, so the book I'm going to share with you today is called Excellence Wins by Horst Schulze, the co-founder of Ritz Carlton.
Can we have a look at how the book looks like?
Okay, so this is the book.
Okay, yeah. Tell us more about what the book is about, just a brief about the book.
Okay, so this book is really about, they call it the no-nonsense guide to becoming the best in the world, in a world of compromise. Yeah, so in essence, I believe in excellence, right? And I believe that everyone is capable of achieving excellence, and that excellence can actually be very inspiring. So, if anyone out there who wants to achieve excellence, and also because Horst is a Christian, so he uses biblical principles to achieve this excellence. Check out this book because there are some very useful principles for you to apply to your own work and other aspects of life.
I'm quite curious. Can you tell me more about the author of this book, Horst Schulze, is it?
Schulze.
Schulze, yeah. Tell me about Horst Schulze.
Okay, so Horst Schulze, he co-founded Ritz Carlton. He was actually born in a small German town, and when he was young, he wanted to be a hotelier. So he convinced his parents to send him to hotel school. Right, so in Europe, the schooling system is very different from in Singapore. You actually start your apprenticeship really early. So he began, I think, at the age of 13, right? So finish your primary school education, then you got to go and apprentice at whatever job you want. So for him, he was doing his apprenticeship at a hotel. And at this hotel, he met this maitre d', okay, it's French. So basically, he's the chief of service staff, who taught him some principles. One of the principles that I was really impacted by was the principle that you do not go to work to perform a function. You go to work to create excellence, right? Like a chair performs a function, a table performs a function, but you're a human being. So you must do more than perform a function. You must come to work to create excellence. So this maitre d' taught him that if you are a man of excellence or a woman of excellence, you will be respected and praised by everyone, no matter what station you are in life, because if you imagine, right, all these people in the hotel business, they range from the bellboy all the way to basically you have the cleaners, the kitchen staff, etc. They were the ones who keep the hotel going and help to maintain the reputation. They also may not come from very prestigious backgrounds. They could be from the ghetto. They could be from low-income families. Okay, but the moment they join Ritz Carlton, they all started to have a great sense of identity because they believe, in the hotel that he eventually set up, that they have a bigger purpose, and the bigger purpose is actually to be part of the best hotel chain in the world. So for me, I believe in that as well. I think that doing your job well and really helping your company have that image, and the respect of people around the world, it is so empowering to everyone who works for you. So it's good and it's important to always maintain a high level of excellence.
That's great, Gwen. I'd like to pause you here and ask you a personal question. How do you create excellence in your own life, maybe in your work life as well as in your personal life?
Do you mean for Horst or for myself?
For Gwendolyn Thong, how do you so-called create excellence or live by these principles that you've learned in this book?
Okay, so in essence, there are three things that Horst Schulze said. It's like no matter what service or product you are selling, you need to maintain these three things to be excellent. The first is that you need to provide a product or service with no defects. Okay. The second is that it has to be timely, right? People don't want to have to wait too long. And the third, you must be nice to the people you are serving. Okay, so this is something that I think I can apply to my life, and you guys can apply to your life as well. Firstly, if someone gives you a task, make sure that you do it to your best of ability and don't make any assumptions, right? So make plans to check in with them on frequent basis to see if they really have delivered. No, they really are pleased with what you have done or the progress of the product that you're creating for them. Second, be timely. If you can deliver early, even better. Okay, but don't deliver late. And lastly, realize that the relationship that you have with your client or basically with your boss has to be based on kindness. It has to be based on respect, right? Being nice to them. So for Horst Schulze, one of the things that he did that was kind of controversial back in his day, because he sold off Ritz, Carlton, then he went on to start the Capella hotels, which one of them is in Singapore, right, in Sentosa. That's where basically the former president of the United States came to meet with the current leader of North Korea. Okay, so the famous Capella Hotel that was set up by Horst Schulze as well. So okay, what was I saying before this?
Well, the question was, how do you create excellence in your own life? And I like it that you narrowed it down to 3 points, which is no defects, timely, and nice. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you must be nice to people. Oh yeah. Okay. So sorry, I was a bit let off track. So what I want to say is that even for me, I believe that like in the short term, it is true that we all have our limits to what kind of excellence we can create, because there are many limiting factors in our lives, right? Sometimes it's because of the people we are with. Sometimes it's because of a lack of resources. Sometimes it's because of too many commitments, right? But in the long term, there is no excuse to a lack of excellence, because in the long term, if you are very committed, right, the strong commitment to excellence will help you create a life around your commitment. For instance, for myself, I was previously doing my master's in public policy at the Lee Kuan Yew School, right? So I had to make a commitment to cut down on all other activities outside of studies, cut down on things that I think are not needed, basically really keep my social circle really tight, so that I only have encouraging people in my midst. So all this helps to, in the end, help me when I'm sitting down and doing my research, and of course also having a good diet, exercising daily, to produce the best kind of work. Because I believe that, and I'm sure you guys can agree, you will only be in the best frame of mind to do the best kind of work if you have taken care of yourself, right? Because you're in, for instance, you're like a vehicle, right? So if the car is faulty, it will not likely reach the endpoint. So in the long term, I believe that when you make those kind of adjustments to your life, sometimes it's going to be a sacrifice, right? You can't do the things you used to do anymore, but you make those sacrifices so that you can wake up the next day and be more alert to be able to do the job that you have promised that you do, and do it to your best. In the long term, you're going to find yourself, always being the best in the field.
So
Because
Gwen, I'd like to pause you there, Gwen. Gwen, can you hear me? I want to ask you, what do you actually want right now? I mean, like in this excellence, right? It seems more like a means to an end. But if I could ask you now, what do you actually want to be excellent in your life at this moment?
I think everything I do has to be excellent. So if I have said yes, I will do something, then it will have to be excellent to the to the point of basically as far as it can go, right?
Mhm.
Otherwise, I would say no. Yeah, and that's really the principle of excellence, really.
Okay, because I'm a bit concerned that excellence sometimes also have a little bit of a perfectionist undertones. What are your thoughts about that?
I think that, excellence is not perfection. Excellence is when you have done your best. But I think nothing in this world is perfect. And when you look at Ritz Carlton and the stories he shares in the book, you'll see that even Ritz Carlton is not perfect. That's why he set up the ultra luxury hotel called Capella, right? That charges, I think, way higher. Charges like $1,000 per night, right? Whereas Ritz Carlton is way cheaper. That's because there's always something more that can be improved. And I believe that being excellent is when you set a certain mark for yourself, right? And you have based this on evidence that this is what can be that's possible to achieve, then you ought to hit that mark. And there is no excuse for not hitting that, because you actually set the expectation in a very reasonable level.
Okay. Gwen, there's a story that sort of touched me just now, which is when he was young, like 13 years old, going to the hotel as a intern, so to speak, right? Apprentice, you said.
Yeah.
Then the maître d', sorry, I don't know French. He's taught him that it is not only fulfilling a purpose like a table or chair, but having excellence, creating excellence. And then you talked about the servants themselves, right? Have to always aim at excellence, right?
Yep.
That story sort of touched me because when I was sort of like studying to be a counselor, I was a receptionist. I worked as a receptionist in a financial services company. So some people might think that this job might be a little under my station. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I found that it was a good job because it trained my social skills. But at the same time, I don't know anything about this writer, but I thought to myself also that I had to be excellent and be the best receptionist I can be. And I really did do that too. I was there every day, timely. I was nice to everyone and tried to give the best of my service. And it was touching. I mean, okay, I don't know what your thoughts are, but share with me. Are there similar experiences in your life that you're doing some very simple job, but you also want to push across excellence?
Hello, Denise, can you hear me? Yeah, so okay, I think uh that's when you need to understand that you need to separate that drive for excellence with other people's opinion of you, right? So and then as a Christian, I think this is why Jesus went to the desert to be tempted, because he's alone, right? And during COVID-19, many of us are like alone with no audience most of the time. And yet, when you are alone and you are asked to do certain things that nobody will even know that you have done, you ask yourself, is this something I want to do with excellence, or is this something that I'm just going to anyhow do? So for me, it's of course keeping my house clean, right? Cleaning the toilet, washing the dishes, the things on the floor. If there are specks on the floor, do I bother to clean it very carefully or just anyhow leave it there? Maybe nobody is gonna see it, but I know in my heart, if I really, really want to serve God and do things well, I can. It's really a way of life. So you don't actually separate it out according to, oh, this is something, for instance, for you, the recept job may be something that you're doing to make extra income, not something you want to do in the long term. Yeah. So therefore, maybe some people might think, oh, I don't want to invest that much energy into that. Vis-a-vis maybe when you're studying, for instance, this is something that you're invested in the long term, and you want to do a better job in that. I think this differentiation does not exist for someone who is truly committed towards excellence, because you are excellent therefore you want to do your best in everything. Yeah. And I feel that my life has gotten a lot simpler. I mean, I don't really need to have that much variety. And the routine is kind of set, so that every day there's a set routine, and I can perfect the things I'm doing because I'm repeating them day in, day out, to achieve the outcome that I want. So likewise, I feel that if I mean, of course, there are things that I do that are maybe not so prestigious. When I'm doing that, I don't even think about it as being different from the prestigious thing. I just think about what is it that I'm expected to do here, and then how do I do it the best. I think the other questions are quite inconsequential, right? Like the question of is this something I'll do in the long term? Actually, no. This is inconsequential because, in essence, if you have integrity and you're a person of character, then by nature you will not want to shortchange anyone, or yeah, anyone you have committed to. Yeah, that is your responsibility to deliver only the best version of yourself.
Well, I can't say that I only delivered the best version of myself. I mean, during my work as a receptionist and at the time studying in the evening to be a counselor and to clock hours, I tried to do a good job in the recep job because I was grateful to the boss for giving me this money to pay for the school fees. And I wanted to earn the money, so I had to do a good job. Okay, then when I went to see all my clients, maybe at the nursing home, I had to do a good job there as well because that's where I'm honing my craft. Go to school, so I tried to pay attention, and it was quite a interesting time of my life, I must say, because I had 3 different roles. I was like you, I wanted to get to be excellent, but there were days that was really hard, like days that are so tired, or days where that my mood wasn't so good or my concentration wasn't so good. So how would you reconcile that days, like if you cannot be excellent or perfect, so to speak, on all days? How do you reconcile that with this notion of creating excellence at all times?
I would say that then this is a lot of learning how to say no. Yeah, as I said, the method that Horst Schulze gives is, if you want to say yes, then you by all means do it with excellence. If you cannot do it with excellence, then you have to say no. Yeah, so then that protects the brand, you see. Yeah, because Denise Thong is a brand, and Gwendolyn Thong is a brand as well. So if people know that everything that Gwen does is done so well, that's how the brand remains, like has integrity, right? That's how you can continue to grow in demand. Yeah, but the moment you diminish the quality just so that you can produce more quantity, then you're trying to say that my hour isn't worth that much. Okay, so for instance, now my 1 hour of time is worth $500 as a lecturer at NUS. So this means that if I had to teach for 2 hours, I will likely spend the morning resting, like really resting, doing the things that I like, or even just sleeping, so that when I have to eventually teach, they're gonna get 100% of me. And this is something that I actually try to share with my colleagues as well at my workplace. I want them to be 100% of them. So if they need more rest, then by all means we can take 1 day off. But when we get back to work, I wish to see them at 100%. So I think if you want to know a little bit more about this, you can actually check out the sermon by Pastor Rick Warren, which is called How to Live a Productive Life. In it, he says that it's very important to weed and to prune. So to weed is to remove activities that are no longer beneficial to you. And then to prune is to take away activities that are beneficial, right? So that what is left, you can devote all your attention to. So imagine that there's a garden and there are so many seeds being planted, right? They're all going to not have enough nutrients, right? But if you take away the weeds and you prune a lot of the plants, you find that it's going to be so fruitful. And it is the same garden, you see. So your life is like a garden, your mind is like a garden. You need to do frequent gardening if you want it to be fruitful.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I mean, it really applies also in my work as a counselor. Like I cannot have that many clients on one day. It's better to space them out through the week. So every single client, I will be there and be fully present. I like that. And also don't waste my energies worrying about things that are not so important. Like if I spend so much energy worrying about what people think about me or putting on a persona, then I'll have less energy left to do the right things. Or at least I feel that the important things are. Okay, Gwen. So in closing, is there anything you wanna share with the viewers today?
In closing, I just want to say that like first of all, Horst Schulze, right? The very interesting thing about him is that he actually brought dignity to people through a company, right? Through something that was like commercial. And I think many Christians, for instance, may think that doing business and trying to make money is somehow evil, because the love for money is evil. But at the same time, Catholics will say that, oh, work is actually good because it gives you dignity as a human being, right? So I mean, I'll just like to say that if you are someone who's a Christian and you want to serve God in the domain of the marketplace, then this book, Excellence Wins by Horst Schulze, is going to shed light on how you can serve God and still be profit driven at the same time. Because for Horst, he always emphasizes on like asking a few questions, right? First, if is this decision something that's good for the company, right? Second, is it good for the shareholders? Third, is it good for the clients? And then will God approve of it? Yeah, and if all of it is ticked, then he'll be like, then why are we not doing it? Right? We need to learn how to reshuffle our priorities so that we can be excellent, rather than sometimes I think the mindset of the modern people, right, is more is more, right? I want to do more, I want to do so much. My for Horst Schutzer, and then subsequently for myself, right? Okay, I can't even compare. I'm not at his level yet, but for myself, the same principle goes. I really believe that less is more. And there's actually only very little that you can do, because and realizing that is being humble. Okay, it takes true humility to realize that you are actually not capable of doing 10 things in a single day and doing all of them well. So if you prune it down to 5 things and you do it well and still end up, with a joyful disposition, because there's some margin for you to rest, for you to spend time with your loved ones, then it becomes a win-win situation, right? You get to deliver what you promised well, and you also get to be happy.
I like that,
Yeah.
Gwen. I like that. I was talking to a client of mine, and she shared with me the importance of doing triage, like at like a A&E doctor triage. What is the most urgent, important thing to do? Because at a hospital, of course, you have to be excellent because human lives are at stake, right? So it's the same thing. I believe you, and I think that it's true. We have to triage, and we learn to say no, and we need to have self-awareness, because self-awareness is humility, right? We know our own limits. So I like everything that you've said today, and I think that it was a good conversation. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much for
much.
being on this show.
Yeah, I just say one last thing is about
Yeah.
having a purpose.
Mm.
Yeah, and if you write it out on a piece of paper, it becomes your vision, right? So if you can align everything you do to that purpose and vision, then you'll be able to make sense of your life. Okay, so this will not work if you still haven't had a purpose and a vision. Then for you, maybe you're still in a place of trying to experiment, to do a lot of things, because you still haven't reached that. Yeah, so finding your purpose in life has to be your priority, because that becomes a bit like your moral compass. And then after that, you'll be spending the rest of your life, I believe, cutting down on all the other distractions. Okay, so I wish all of you a wonderful journey in excellence and have a wonderful day ahead.
Okay, thank you, Gwen. And if you ever have any other books that you wanna talk about on this show, you just let me know. Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.